Alright, we've got our tea, let's make some wild speculations. Hello everyone, welcome back to Too Sweet MTG, welcome to another Commander video. We're doing something a little bit different this week, because you know, it's been a bit of a busy time in the world of Commander. Everyone's probably aware, Wizards have now taken control of the ban list for Commander. They have said for the immediate future they're not going to make any changes, but in the future they are going to look at things. So what I thought we'd do today is look at all the cards on the EDH ban list and tier them in terms of cards I think are most likely to be unbanned. There's a lot of very cool and very powerful cards on the ban list, but some of them are starting to show their age a little bit, so we're going to see which ones I think personally are most likely to see an unban. Before we jump in, this is not financial advice, do not go speculating on cards because of anything I am saying. If you lose money from this, it's entirely on you. I'm good at deck building, not financial advice. Right, so we have our tier list on screen here. The top, tier F, is cards I think that are most likely to see unbanned. We go down, at the bottom we just have no. No, unsurprisingly, are cards that should never be unbanned in Commander because they suck and we don't want them in the format. Worth mentioning, I'm not going to go through every single card individually because there's quite a lot of them, this video doesn't need to be an hour. So for the first bunch of cards, I put them into sections. The first of those sections is old, powerful, and expensive. These are cards like Ancestral Recall, Black Lotus, the Moxes, Time Walk, Library of Alexandria, and Time Vault. I've grouped all these together first and foremost because these cards are already very expensive as it is. From a power level point of view, there is a conversation about are Moxen fine? Potentially. In fact, unbanning all but the green one would be kind of funny. But these cards are already thousands or tens of thousands of pounds. We do not need that influx of cost into the format. Also, Time Vault is miserable, I don't want to play against that card. While the reserve list is a thing, which will probably always be a thing, these cards should never be unbanned. So old, powerful, and expensive cards are going into the no category, they should never be unbanned. Our next category is miserable cards. These are cards that just suck to play against. If you want to play these cards, these are cards you play in one-on-one competitive formats where you're trying to kill your opponents. These cards do not belong in Commander for any reason. These cards are things like Balance, Braid's Cabal Minion, Areo Suratami Ascendant, Hull Breacher, Ione Shield of Emeria, Leovold Emissary of Trest, Limited Resources, Nadu, Panoptic Mirror, Paradox Engine, Shahrazad, and Upheaval. The reason I grouped these together is they all effectively either limit a person from playing a game of Magic, like Iona was banned because it can just turn off someone's deck completely, and you're just wasting that person's time for an hour, that really sucks. Or you have cards like Nadu and Paradox Engine. These cards just drag out the game for an exorbitant amount of time and don't necessarily result in the person winning. Like, yeah, Paradox Engine is a fun card, I think it's sweet. But I never want to play against it again in Commander, it's just miserable. The same as like Leovold, the same as any of these really. These are the kind of cards that the ban list is here for. They are saving players the time and energy of playing against people who play with them. So miserable cards are also going in the no, don't ever unban them section. Our next category are cards that don't really work in Commander. These are cards that are either broken by the 40 life starting point of the format, either broken because the format's multiplayer, broken up because it's a singleton format, or broken up because everyone has a legendary creature that we all care about. So unsurprisingly, the cards in this section are Channel, Fastbond, Caracas, Lutri the Spellchaser, Sway the Stars, Trade Secrets, and Yawgmoth's Bargain. These are cards that just don't translate well into Commander. Like Channel and Fastbond are super fun cards, they are awesome. They do not work in a format where you have 40 life. Like Caracas would be cool for white, but no one wants to be recasting their Commander again and again. And then Lutri just becomes an auto-include in any Izzet-based deck because everyone can just immediately run it. Cards like these don't belong in the format, even though some of them, I will admit, are really fun. If you want to play Channel and Fastbond, that's when you play Cube. So don't work in Commander is also going to be a no. Next up, we have Dexterity Matters cards. These are things like Chaos Orb and Falling Star. These just don't really work in paper Magic nowadays. I think they would be fun, and the ripping them up part of the cards is quite cool, but it's not a part of the game anywhere else. They don't really work in Magic anymore. Dexterity cards are also a no. Next up, however, are some cards I think could see an unbanning sometime in the future, and these are win cons. Specifically, we have cards like Biorhythm and Coalition Victory. Let's start with Biorhythm. I think it's an interesting card. I can very much see why they banned it. It does suck. The idea of casting this after someone's wrapped the board, you play a creature, you play this, you win the game on the spot, that is kind of miserable. But it's also an 8-mana sorcery. Also, in general, over the last couple of years, people have been running less board wipes. That could be changing with them printing Ward everywhere, but Biorhythm is a big, dumb, expensive card. I think it's fine in the format. In the same way as Coalition Victory, yes, in theory, it just goes in any 5-color deck and allows you to win the game in any 5-color deck if you cast it. But this is a 8-mana sorcery with Wooburg in the casting cost. If you get to the point where you can do this, you kind of deserve to win the game. Like, realistically, is Coalition Victory or Biorhythm any worse than Approach of the Second Sun? The clauses and hoops those cards need to work are actually pretty similar. Like, if someone's casting Approach of the Second Sun, they're not doing it fairly. They're casting it a lot sooner than the card intends. So for those reasons, I think we're going to put win cons. We're going in the B for them. Right, so those are the ones I've categorized together because I think they work with each other. Next up, let's talk about some individual cards. Our first individual card of the day is Dockside Extortionist. One of the cards that has most recently been banned, but if I'm honest, it's one that I think most people were kind of on board with. A lot of the early turns in Commander are people playing mana rocks. When you combine that with all the spells nowadays that spit out a treasure, spit out a clue, Dockside Extortionist is kind of really busted, and it can also trip over its own combo quite easily. In my opinion anyway, Dockside needed to be banned. I don't think they should unban it anytime soon. This is a card that will actually get more egregious over time as more things that produce artifacts and enchantments are printed. Dockside is also a no. Our next creature is a little bit bigger. Next up we have Emrakul the Aeon's Torn. So the reason why this is banned is because it's kind of huge and miserable. Annihilator 6 is a hell of a lot of Annihilator, and it's colourless so it can go in any deck. The flip side of that, though, is it is 15 mana, and you can't reanimate it into play unless you're using instant speed effects. Like, if anyone has ever actually hardcast an Emrakul, do let me know in the comments. Because if you have, you really deserve that Emrakul. And that's the only way you're getting that extra turn afterwards. Like, this is a card that's being sneak attacked into play, that's being show and telled into play. If you're already cheating big things into play, what's another one? In no way do I think this is a slam dunk this needs to be unbanned. But if they did unban it, I kind of wouldn't be against it for a little bit. I think my main issue with this being unbanned is it would become a little boring very quickly. Like, if Emrakul's unbanned, no one's running Trench Scourger anymore, and that card slaps. So because of the likelihood it's going to push out Trench Scourger even further from the format, I'm probably going to put Emrakul as a D. It's a card I think they could unban at some point in the future when the power level gets there. But for the time being, it's just a bit too generic. I think it's going to be a D. Next up, we have another very broken Magic card. Next up, we have Flash. So I'm pretty positive one of the reasons Flash was banned was for the health of EDH. Like people cheating in Worldspine Worms, that kind of thing. As someone who does that all the time in Cube, I can appreciate that that line of play is very fun. But the combo aspect of Flash is kind of where it gets a bit more miserable. Like with Flash specifically, you can cheat in Protean Hulk and then you tutor up your creature combo and just win. I can really see the world where it's very easy to turn 1, tutor Protean Hulk into your hand, cast it on turn 2 and win. Which is a shame because like fair uses of Flash is really, really fun. But people always try and do the most broken thing with it. Therefore, I think Flash also has to be a no. Next up, we have Gifts Ungiven. This is kind of similar to Flash, if I'm honest with you. There's some cool lines that most casual players will do with this, but the more competitive players will go with the line of tutor 2 combo pieces and tutor 2 reanimation spells, and then you just win the next turn. Actually, yeah, it's an instant. You can cast this on your opponent's end step and then untap and win. That line of play is pretty oppressive. It does kind of suck. But unlike the Flash that puts the thing into play, Gifts Ungiven isn't actually winning you the game on the spot. It's giving you the pieces. And eventually you still have to cast at least 3, maybe 5 spells, including the Gifts Ungiven, in order to win the game. I appreciate this is strong and it's powerful, but personally this is not as egregious as some of the other stuff on the ban list. Like, I'm kind of fine with Games of Magic ending. And it's also 4 mana, so you will still have done stuff in the game. You will have a chance to interact most of the time. For that reason, I'm going to put Gifts Ungiven in the C section, I think. It's a card they will probably keep banned because they don't really have an incentive to unban it. It's not like super expensive or anything like that. But if they were to unban it, I think I'd be fine with that. Next up, we have an interesting card. Next up, we have Goalless Tireless Pilgrim. So this card was effectively banned because it's just generically good. The joke with this card is just, are you playing a 5-color deck? Cool, you're playing Golos. Because it comes in, it tutors for your 5-color land. You use that land and 2 other mana, just start casting big things with this activated ability. That's the thing, from a power level point of view, this card is completely fine. This feels more like the win cons in terms of they were banned because they're cards we kind of don't want people to really build around, we want them to explore other things. But in actuality, they're kind of fine. But a reason to unban Golos is it did make 5-color commander decks more accessible to people, because this one card can go and get your 5-color land that can then make the rest of the deck function. Like, being honest, I'm fine with Golos. I think, for the reasons I've mentioned, it's a B. If they were to unban it, it would be fine. It wouldn't make that much of a splash anymore. Next up, we have a good one. Next up, we're talking about Grizzle Daddy. So, There is a world where this probably should have been in the don't work section because of the life totals and all that kind of stuff. Like, you have 40 lives, you can draw so many cards with this, I don't care. Yes, I'm very much aware that Dark Ritual, Entomb, Reanimate, Griselbrand, win the game would probably happen if this was unbanned. But let's be honest about some things. They have printed Archon of Cruelty, they have printed Atraxa Grand Unifier. In other formats, those are more premium reanimation targets than Griselbrand. And yes, I know in Commander with the more life that makes Griselbrand more powerful than those two. And there is a world where this ruins CEDH, I also don't care. But being honest, do I want Griselbrand unbanned in the format forever? Probably not. Do I want it unbanned for like 6 months, say? Absolutely yes. Like, that would be kind of awesome. Unban Griselbrand for 6 months. In the same way they did the silver border thing at Christmas a few years ago. I think that would kind of slap, and people would love it. But I'm not being stupid, let's be good with the tier list. I think Griselbrand is probably the same as Emrakul. They could unban it, they probably won't. Alright, we're keeping it topical next with Jeweled Lotus, another card that was recently banned. Personally, from a gameplay point of view, I have no issues with Jeweled Lotus being banned. In terms of games of Magic, they're probably going to be better without it. Do I think they should undo the banning to try and fix the price that's been done by this card being banned? No, that will just probably make things worse. The best case scenario for this is that Jeweled Lotus had never existed in the first place, but because it does, and it is currently banned, it should stay banned. Jeweled Lotus is also a no. Well, next up we have another card that has just recently been banned. Next up we have Mana Crypt. So the conversation about this one is a little bit trickier than Jeweled Lotus, because Jeweled Lotus has only existed for a couple of years and it was a mistake to print it in the first place. But Mana Crypt has been around for decades at this point. It's been part of Commander for decades. I am not here to talk about the financial implications of this card being banned, but being honest, this is the one of all the most recent bannings I could see them undoing. I think they will use the argument of it's been around for years, it's basically Sol Ring which we're not banning, for those reasons we can unban it. The cynical part of me, however, is that they need promos for some upcoming sets and Mana Crypt fits that role perfectly. And again, this is not financial advice, don't be stupid with your money. If they do make any changes, it's months if not years away. But I think Mana Crypt is the most likely of all of them. I'm going to put Mana Crypt in the A category. I personally think this is a card they will walk back on. If they do the tiered category system, this is the perfect example of a card that would be in the highest category. Next up on our list, we have Primeval Titan. So we all know the issues with green decks having access to too much ramp. And the reason this was banned in the first place was because games became about copying and stealing Primeval Titans. Basically, the person who gets this in play has so much mana advantage they normally end up winning the game. But it's 2024. Like, yes, Primeval Titan is very good and it's very broken. And green probably doesn't need the help. But just on raw power level of cards, there's so much better things you can do than go and get a Dark Depths combo nowadays. Will it warp CEDH? Possibly. Again, I don't care. To me, this seems like the card that they could easily unban and a lot of people would be happy about immediately. Maybe this becomes the Golgari Grave Troll of Commander. It's banned, it's unbanned, it's banned, it's unbanned. But I'm kind of here for it. I think Prime Time is pretty likely. I'm going to put it in the A again. Next up, we have Prophet of Kruphix. So this was banned because it was just generically really, really strong. This is one that also doesn't really work well in multiplayer formats. It was banned about 8 years ago. Cards have got way more powerful since then, and this is 5 mana for a 2/3. Like, yes, this is good in a Simic deck, but there's so many cards that are good in Simic decks. Have you read Nadu? I kind of boil this down to, if an opponent were to play a Prophet of Kruphix, how annoyed would I be? A little bit, but not massively. I'm pretty positive someone at the table could answer this now. Like, people are packing more interaction than they used to when this card was legal. Like in 2016 Commander, yeah, this card was a house. But in 2016 we were probably still partial Parasing and all running like 32 lands. Is it likely to be unbanned? Probably not, but I think it's as likely as Gifts Ungiven. So for that reason, I'm going to put it in the C. Ooh, we have another banger next. Next up we have Recurring Nightmare. So, this is a very powerful, extremely broken engine. If you get this into play, this is basically what you're doing for the rest of the game. But that being said, it's not infinite or anything like that. Like, yes, it's a lot of value, and you can loop a lot of very powerful end to the battlefield effects. But I mean, it is play as a sorcery, you can't do it with pitch elementals or evoke creatures, that kind of thing. It means it's fair. There will be some personal bias with this one, because this is one of my favourite cards of all time. But this card was banned 16 years ago. It doesn't win you the game on the spot, you need other things to make it work. I think that means it's also probably going to go in the C. Similar to Gifts Ungiven, it doesn't just win you the game. You need to do other things as well. So for that reason, yeah, let's put it in the C. Next up, we have Raphelus Llanowar Visionary. This was only actually banned a decade ago. I thought this was always banned. So obviously there's a couple of issues with this card. Firstly, green decks don't need any more help with the ramping. But secondly as well, this is also reserve list, which means they can't ever reprint it. So if they were to unban it, it would become ungodly expensive very, very quickly. Would it be a broken deck though? Like mono green is good, but like the green ramp is better in decks where there's card draw. You don't get that as much in green decks. From a power level point of view, I'm kind of torn. Like yes, it's very good, but I don't think the deck it'll lead will be super strong. Comparatively, that is. But then I don't really want this card unbanned just because of the price. So I think for that reason, I'm going to put it in the D. I think more power level wise, it's probably a B or a C, but the price point of this card will just make it suck too much. Right, we have another beefy creature next. Next up, we have Sundering Titan. And yes, I know people hate land destruction. It's generic, so it can go in any deck that's trying to cheat things into play. And then obviously it gets much more miserable in decks that are trying to bounce things. Like flickering this does kind of suck. Like initially I was like, yeah, sure, unban Sundering Titan. But now I'm actually thinking about playing against it. It's an ETB and a leave effect. So best case scenario is what they cast it, and then it stays in play for the whole game. You don't want to answer it because your lands get blown up. Okay, that kind of sucks actually now I think about it. Another one for Q, but actually I kind of can't be asked to deal with this card. Part of me is okay with keeping triomes and stuff like that in check, but I can't be bothered to play against this card. Sundering Titan is a no. So next up we have Sylvan Primordial. And the thing about this card is that this is not a fixed Primeval Titan. The fact it can blow up your opponent's lands does kind of suck. It's non-creature permanent, that does include lands. This is nowhere near as bad as Sundering Titan because you are limited to doing it once per opponent for each time it ETBs. But then you go and get forests for that. It's not even basic forest, that's kind of wild. Is this a card I want to play against? Not really. But is it as bad as Sundering Titan? No, I don't think it is. I think this is probably going to be a D as well. It's a card I could see them unbanning, but I kind of can't be asked to play against it. So for that reason, I think Sylvan Primordial is going to be a D. Right, we have two left. They're both pretty good. Next up, probably the cheapest card on this list. Next up is Tinker. Tinker is another of one of my favourite cards of all time. It is incredibly fun to do, cheating out a big dumb artifact really early in the game. And it has a downside, you need to sacrifice an artifact. But the fact you can go and get Bolas's Citadel, or Blightsteel Colossus, probably more likely, means that there is no way this card should be unbanned. Again, if you want to play with Tinker, do it in Cube. Which is a shame, Tinker is phenomenally fun. Although it pains me because I love this card, Tinker also has to be a no. And then our last card of the day, let's talk about Tolarian Academy. So this was banned in 2010, before everything in the world made you an artifact token. So things have not made it easier to unban Tolarian Academy since that time. And if you've ever played with a Tolarian Academy, you know how much mana this can make you. When you add to that ways of untapping Tolarian Academy, dear God, you go ham. And I think my fear with it being unbanned, not just the raw power level thing, is it becomes a thing like Paradox Engine. It's used for long, non-deterministic turns which just draw out a game. Is it a fun card? Yes. Is it powerful? Oh dear God, yes. Should it be unbanned in Commander? No. Tolarian Academy needs to stay banned, I'm afraid. Right, so let's just review the list as it is. I think I'm kind of okay with this. All the ones in the no dear God please don't unban them section I think should stay banned personally. I would like Griselbrand to be higher, but let's be reasonable about it. I think from there up, I think from the C, I think everything in C, B and A, I think Commander would be okay if they were unbanned. Would it shake up the format? Definitely. Would everyone go ham with Primetime too much early on? Yes, definitely. I think things in the C and the B section are fairly placed. With the A section, they are kind of there on vibes. Like Mana Crypt is there not because of power level. From power level wise, it should be a no. But because of the history with the format and the likelihood of Wizards wanting to reprint it again means that I think it's going to be higher. And Primetime is just a card everyone wants to play with. Everyone loves Primetime. Maybe we shouldn't be trusted and maybe that's why it should be lower, but that's no fun. Unban Primetime, I'm here for it. And I also think it's correct that I didn't put any card in the F tier. That should help reiterate that nothing on this list is a given. People speculating on these cards is wild to me. Like if you want to buy a Tolarian Academy because you want to play it in a deck, sure. Play Q, play Canlander, those cards are legal there. I personally think it's mad that people are buying them because they're going to speculate they're going to get more expensive because they think there's a world where Wizards could unban it. I implore you all, play Cube, play a format where these cards are legal, and you will quickly see why they will never be legal in Commander. It's now a bad time to mention our TCG affiliate link. If you want to buy these cards to add to your Cube or your Canlander deck, please consider using our TCG affiliate link down in the description below. But I think that's where we're going to leave it for today. Thank you all very much for watching. Let me know down in the comments what you think of my list. Which of my takes is the worst? Which one do you disagree with the most? But be nice, please. At the end of the day, this is just a bit of fun. Everyone be cool. But that's where we're going to leave it for today. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.